In today's video, we're going to be making these beautiful wine boxes out of walnut and, for a little bit of extra ambiance, plane shavings. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon for all of our newest videos. In the meantime, let's get to the build.
Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut down and trim our lumber and make it square. Then we want to get our cuts right to roughly where we need them to be. And then we'll go ahead and do our first set of cuts. This is going to be for the sides. These are a 4-inch cut. And then just to make sure that the boards are fully square, we're just going to go ahead real quick and face joint them. And then we're just going to remove some of the waste before we take it over to the bandsaw. These will end up coming out to roughly around about 3/8, so just shy of a half. An inch, that is. And then you get a pretty pattern like that. And we're just going to run it through the planer real quick here to remove any extra lines. And now we're going to go ahead and cut down our 4.5-inch sides by 4 and our 4.25-inch wide fronts and backs by 4. That'll vary based off of the type of wine bottle you're using. We're going to cut each of these sections on a 45-degree angle, so this way we can make ourselves a little tiny box. These are the long sides that work for the wine bottles that we have. And then we're just going to go ahead and cut down the bottom that we figured out by putting the box together and then measuring all the sides. We're just going to trim that down real quick. Then we're going to move on to making the lid. This is probably about roughly just a little shy of 1/4. I'm going to make this a little long at first, and we'll do some additional trimming on that later. Right now we're going to go ahead and make the dado for the lid. Again, we're doing this one at 1/4. You're going to do this on all 4 pieces. This is really necessary. You'll see why in the later steps. Then after you're done making all the dados, take one of the pieces that's for either the front or back and just chop the head off from it a little bit below the dado. And that basically should look something like that. This will be for the lid later on. Give it a quick sand before you start gluing everything together, and then we'll be on our way. And this glues up similar to a picture frame. You're just going to go ahead and put tape on the bottom and this glue in between the miters. Now, if you're using walnut like we're using, hide glue is amazing, just like we used here with a little CA glue. We're just going to slide the lid in, and then we're just going to pop that little piece we cut off right on the end. And after a little bit, we can just slide it right out, and we have a perfectly fitting lid. Then we can just remove all the tape that we put on there for the glue up earlier. You get something that looks something like that. This is a 1-inch spade bit. This is basically for the proverbial finger hole. because you're not really supposed to pull on the end, even though you could. And let's move on to the next part. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and put this in our spline jig. We have a video about that we'll put up above. Cut these about 1 inch roughly from the top and bottom, and then we cut down a little bit of maple for the splines. Again, a little bit more hide glue in here, just in case we had any mistakes. We didn't, but in this case, we got lucky. And then we just cut off the splines after they dry. Generally about 30 minutes I'll do it. And then just sand them down. This will make them nice and flush. And a quick spray down with some shellac and some lacquer, just to give it a nice, clean, finished look. Just kind of get the inside and outside of the box there. Then we're going to go ahead and do some shavings on with the planer here. And then those will be used for this. You just kind of want to push the shavings around the whole bottle. We basically want to make sure we're packing it in there. That's the important part. And that also adds to the presentation too, so that's really important. And if you're shipping this like we were, this will keep the bottle safe too. And look stylish. We got some shots coming up here in a minute of how that looks in the final product.
We hope you enjoyed our video over how to make these beautiful wine boxes. They make great gifts for people who enjoy wine, and they are just absolutely fascinatingly easy to make, as you can see in the video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and definitely hit that bell notification icon so you get notified about all of our newest videos. In the meantime, stay safe in the shop.